to Third Degree. Join us here in my hair salon, the place I come to each week to prepare for the show. Hair is such an important part of our identity. We spend an inordinate amount of time and money on it, and it's not just about looking good. It says something about us. Whether we color it, straighten it, or make it curly, it is intimately connected to our self-image. For black women, it's an even more complex issue. Natural hair versus the weave. It may sound frivolous, but that frivolity belies a far deeper issue. It's about race, about Western versus African ideals, and about exactly what defines beauty. It can potentially make you stand out from the crowd. One of our most noticeable features. Billions spent on it every year. But it is just hair, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, my hair is like my crowning glory. I think any woman will tell you that.
I love my natural hair. I mean, it's been quite a journey for me to get to a state where I'm able to express myself in that way.
I think for black women, we've always had to negotiate our beauty around media, around white standards, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable.
We can't discover a cure for AIDS, but we know how to straighten black people's hair? I mean, really? Like, really?
Black female hair is a highly contentious issue. On one side, natural hair that looks like this. On the other, bought hair, or hair that is chemically treated. On the streets of Jozi, opinions are strong.
My preference is seasonal. Winter, I prefer weaves, and then summer, I prefer going natural.
Well, I prefer weaves, 100% pure natural.
Sometimes it looks nice on a young lady, and especially this youngsters.
I prefer natural hair.
So why is this shaft of hair that grows out of our head the cause of so much debate?
Politics, history have shaped our understanding of ourselves and of our aesthetic as black women, and it's undeniable that white supremacy, that racism have had a deep, profound impact on the way that we see ourselves as people. You know, black women are always kind of on some petri dish being dissected, you know, from Sarah Bartman to the sister on the cover of the magazine wearing a weave right now, you know.
Hi and welcome to Great Expectations.
ETV presenter and poet Lebo Mashile has always had a complex relationship with her hair. It's intertwined with her personal identity, as it is for many women.
I begged my mother for a relaxer when I was 7 years old. I wanted straight hair. I wanted hair that moves. I was growing up in the U.S. My parents were always very Afrocentric and, you know, very politicized. You know, I didn't grow up in a house where I was put under pressure to look like anything that I wasn't, you know? So, I mean, this pressure was coming from somewhere else. I relaxed my hair consistently, religiously, from the age of 7 until I stopped relaxing my hair when I was about 19, 20. I did all my own treatments. I did my own blowouts. I did my own, you know, it was a religion. I used to wake up at 5:30 in the morning so that I could tong my hair before I went to school, you know? I had like a burnt forehead and burnt ears and, you know, scabs on my scalp. And, you know, I went through the whole thing. By the time I was a teenager, I was relaxing my own hair. I knew how to do it, you know? And growth was my enemy. This hair, as it grows out of my head, was the devil. It was something I didn't want to see.
And a cool voice, crisply shaking the last of winter's whirlwinds to a standstill.
In her early 20s, she decided she'd had enough. Her aha moment came when she started university. She began examining her identity and what it meant to be a black woman.
What was I doing to my body? You know, what was so wrong with my body that I needed to torture myself like that?
But her continuous use of relaxers caused permanent physical damage.
The first time I shaved my head when I was, I think, 21 or 22, I found, and I still have it, a permanent line here in the middle of my scalp from step one, right? Every black girl knows what step one is. You know, you part your hair in the middle, you relax your hair in 4 sections. So you make a line here, and you open a path, and then you open a path across, and you relax it in these 4 sections. So step one is the first step, right? So that's the line that gets the most relaxed. I have a permanent tattoo here from, 12, 13 years of step one.
You know how dangerous they are. I mean, this is sodium hydroxide. It's a very strong chemical. Even as you relax or straighten your hair, you always get a little burn or a little tingle. But if you stay under the relaxer, say 5 minutes longer, it can actually do serious harm to your scalp.
It's a risk many are prepared to take. For E-News senior anchor Nikiwe Bikicha, being in broadcasting even meant altering who she was.
When I started doing television, there were all these expectations, and you've got to remember that our predecessors, people like Khanyi Dlomo, who had read English primetime news, looked a certain way, and we simply complied, and that's what we did. And that's who I became whenever I worked in television over various mutations. I had either weave or braids, or I straightened my hair at great expense, at great discomfort. It wasn't something I ever chose for myself. It wasn't my ideal, and I must say I regret those years. I really do.
It took Nikiwe a decade in the industry to find the courage to embrace her natural hair.
Was I confident enough, I think? Was I self-assured enough to decide and to announce to myself and to my colleagues or to my superiors and say, actually, I'm quite comfortable with myself this way. This is how I want to present myself. This is me. I feel like an imposter when I walk around from month to month. 1 month it's a long straight weave, the other it's a curly, auburn head. My hair is black and it's short and it's curly and I love it. It springs up and down. It's easy to maintain. I use an Afro comb to keep it in check, and I spend 100 Rand every 6 weeks to get a haircut. This is who I am. This is what I want to embrace, and this is what I want to present to the world.
It's a philosophy welcomed by thousands. Natural hair, untreated by chemicals, turned into wonderful and individual creations. Coming up, is the media to blame for promoting Eurocentric views of beauty?